Oops, I did it again. We bought way too many bottles this month, so we have a huge bottle haul for February 2024. Hi friends, I'm Laura, this is Baker Drinks, and this is our bottle haul from February of 2024. This month must have been huge because I don't know where all these bottles came from. I felt like we were being so good and not buying anything. But, you know, half of them came from the last week. We were celebrating Troy's birthday and we were having fun and we were going to new places. So, of course, we came home with several more bottles than we intended. But that's okay. Makes for a good video for you guys. So I think first I'm just going to go with the bottles that we replaced. We want to keep them on our shelf, so we replaced them. So that would be Old Forester 1897. This is one of the Whiskey Row series bottles, and it's delicious. We like to keep it on our shelf. Along those same lines, I've got the Old Forester 1910, another Whiskey Row series bottle. Great bottle to have on the shelf, delicious, lots of people like it. Always a crowd pleaser. This next one is a Whiskey Row series bottle, although it may not seem like it because it's impossible to come by, but we lucked out, had some help getting this bottle. We've got the Old Forester 1924, and yes, there is quite a dent out of it, but we have shared it. We did a crazy video, lots of blinds. So if you haven't seen that, definitely check it out if you're interested in what is special about this bottle. And then, beginning of the year, that means there are some batches that come out that we are always looking for. And so we've got the Larceny Barrel Proof A124. And then along those same lines, we've got the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof A124. Why is there so much missing? Oh yeah, we sampled those out as well. I'm like, I didn't even really like that bottle. There's no way I drank that much, but that's what we're here for. We like to share the whiskey we get. So if you stick around and you watch more of our videos, chances are you're probably gonna get some. So next I'll go with some bottles that are kind of new to our area. So we picked them up to add to our collection because we just haven't seen them before. And that would be Frey Ranch. This is a farm strength, so it's their uncut barrel proof bottle that they have. I'm gonna have to give this a second try because my first taste of it didn't love. I hear very mixed reviews by them. Some people either really love it or they really hate it, and I don't know if it's just like varying batches or what. Since this is our first time having a bottle of Frey Ranch, I really didn't know what to expect, but I definitely get that farmy note that some people talk about. Didn't love it on the first sip, but I always give it a second chance. Same idea, hasn't been available in our area. We've got the Smoke Wagon. This is just the small batch. Nothing special about this bottle. Haven't cracked it open yet, but we just wanted to add it to our collection, and I'm sure it's delicious. MGP, we like the uncut, unfiltered. I'm sure we're gonna like this one as well. We just haven't tried it yet. Okay, so we have been big High West fans. Their cask strength version they came out with last year, and then they have been coming out with finished versions of the cask strength. So we picked up the Cabernet Sauvignon finish. It's High West cask strength. It's in their cask strength collection. We just kind of want to collect them all, see if they're good. We're not loving their base stuff as much anymore, so we don't need to pick those up, but we are still enjoying their finished products, and I'm sure they're still all going to be delicious. Next, I've got some single barrels that we picked up. You know, we love a good single barrel. Normally, that's what is really driving us in what we're purchasing, but obviously it hasn't been with what we picked up so far. So this is a Remus single barrel, and it was specially selected by Ian Stursman. So if you don't know who that is, That is the master distiller. He should know what's good of their barrels. And you know what? It's fantastic. So if you ever see one with that label, you know it's gonna be a good one, and it's fantastic. If we ever finish this bottle, we'd probably pick it up again. This is a great single barrel. Next, this is more a single barrel for Troy, but I enjoyed the previous one of this. So this is the Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit, and it is a Camp Nelson F bottle. So we already had a Camp Nelson F Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit, and I loved it. And I told him, if you ever see one again, pick it up, because that's a Wild Turkey product that I actually enjoy and want to drink. I'm not usually a Wild Turkey fan, but Troy is, so we usually get their products, and I just am like, I could pass on that. But this one, well, I don't know about this particular bottle, but the previous Camp Nelson F bottle we had was so good, I told him to pick up another one. If you've watched our haul videos before, you know that we are parts of different whiskey clubs or barrel clubs. So we get some bottles based on those clubs, of course. So the first one would be from Westward Whiskey. This is a Portland, Oregon single malt company, and their club, they do a quarterly release of different barrels that are not available for everyone else. They're special offerings, different finishes, different malts. This is a different malt that they use. So this is a Vienna malt, completely different taste profile. I know ours isn't open, but Jason at Washington Whiskey also is part of the club, and we just visited him. He cracked the bottle. So we have tried it, and it was very different, I felt like, than their other bottle. And so it's just kind of fun to see the differences that you can get from one distillery, and we really enjoy all their bottles, so we like being part of the club. These next two bottles are from Barrels for Hope. So this is a barrel club that they use half the money for bottles and half the money goes to charity. And so these are the last two bottles that we received for this previous year, and I'm very excited about them. I haven't popped either of the bottles yet, but I'm sure that they are both fantastic, and I've heard nothing but good things from them. So the first one is a Middle West Spirits Straight Rye Whiskey Dark Pumpernickel, and this is a cask strength at 124.48 proof. And I mean, look at the color of that. I'm sure you guys can see how crazy dark that is. I'm sure it's gonna be fantastic. I have never had their cask strength version. I've had their ported pumpernickel rye, and it was interesting, and I'm excited to try this one, because this is the bottle that everyone raves about when they talk about Middle West spirits, I feel like, anyway. It's the one that's gotten the most hype, that I've heard the most about. And with the same club, we've got another Nashville Barrel Company single barrel. So this is a straight bourbon whiskey. It is 7 years old, and it is 127.20 proof. I've heard this is one of the best picks that people have had from them. I don't know yet because I haven't popped it open, but we have a few other picks from Nashville Barrel, and honestly, I just don't think they can disappoint. They do source their whiskey, but I don't know what they do or how they age it or what is so special about, like maybe it's just the barrels they pick, but they give out some amazing bottles of whiskey. So I'm very excited about this one. And just in case I haven't shown the logo enough so people really know what I'm talking about, Barrels for Hope, community, charity, and the American spirit. So it's about drinking whiskey, getting bottles, and donating money to charity. That seems like a normal bottle haul, but that's not all of it, because then we went to Seattle for Troy's birthday, and we came home with more bottles than we intended to. So our first bottle, we had help from someone else to get this bottle for us. If you've seen our channel before, you know I am a Jack Daniel's girl. I love all the bottles. Basically, I want to have all of them if that were a possibility. I know it's not, but anything that we can come across, I like to add to the collection. This one is the Jack Daniel's American Single Malt. This is the travel exclusive or the military base bottle. It is an American single malt finished in Oloroso sherry, 90 proof, 1 liter bottle. We had had a taste of this before. I knew I enjoyed it. It's one of the better single malts I've had from a legacy bourbon distillery. So I was very excited to add it to the collection. We also have their twice barreled limited edition single malt, which is fantastic, but this is the cheaper, more easily available bottle. So I wanted to add it to the collection. After that, we went and visited Woodinville Distillery. So this distillery, we did not make a reservation for a tour. We just kind of showed up and hoped for the best. We walked in, there wasn't anyone there. It was just a bunch of workers standing around waiting for someone, which was perfect for us because we were able to talk them into a tour. The tour was great. They gave us tastings of their normal bottles, their bourbon, their rye, their ported bourbon, and then we were able to taste their some hearts off the distillery, off the still, and then afterwards they let us taste everything else that they had there. And then Troy got to bottle his own bottle from a barrel, which was a fun experience. He got to write on the label and do all that. And so afterwards, we enjoyed some of the tastes. You know, when you've had a few tastes, they always do come across even better. But this one, I definitely would recommend. This is it's 100% rye. That's their mash bill, 100% rye. And this one's at cask strength. So it's 116.88 proof. And it is a fantastic rye. If you like rye whiskey, of course, but I thought it was well balanced. I was very surprised that they use 100% rye mash bill, but I think they said it's the type of the rye that gives it the flavor. I don't remember what that type of rye was, but something about it made it fantastic, and I had to pick up a bottle. And then Troy did the experience where he got to bottle his own. So he did the single barrel bourbon. This is 118.4 proof, and they call it the distiller's pick because the master distiller goes to their rick house, picks out barrels specially for this, and then lets people bottle their own bottle. So fun experience, also great whiskey. After that, we did some whiskey shopping. So we went to a liquor store very close to the distillery, and they had some great picks and some great bottles. They let us try some things. Sadly, they did not have their Eagle Rare single barrel at the moment. They had just sold off the last one, but he said he's getting another one in the next couple weeks. So, you know, maybe we'll head back. I don't know. It's kind of a long drive, but he let us try the one that they had before. But they also had a Russell single barrel. You know, Troy can't go without picking up one of these. I'm gonna have to only pour this kind of whiskey for him because we have too many of them. But here's the stats on the bottle. Russell's Reserve single barrels, they are all 110 proof. This one is 8 years old, from Warehouse D, floor 4. Oh, the store was called Proper and Earnest. It was a great store. The guy working there, I don't know if he was the owner or just works there, but he was incredibly friendly and very knowledgeable. It was a great store to go to. At that same store, we also picked up another High West cask strength bottle. This is the Chardonnay finish. I can't say that I've ever had a Chardonnay finished bourbon before, so it was more of like a intrigue, I guess, that brought me to this bottle. I've heard good things about it, but I have never had a Chardonnay finished bourbon, and when I was a wine drinker, I didn't love Chardonnay, so I'm curious to see how these flavors go together. We'll just find out. Maybe I'll do a review on it. I think after our 4th visit to a different Total Wine, we finally picked something up from one of those stores. This one is called The Jury. It is from High and Wicked, and it is a 15-year-old straight bourbon whiskey finished in ex-Madeira casks. So Troy is a big fan of Madeira. I mean, so am I. It gives such sweet, interesting flavors to bourbons and ryes, and this being 15 years old, cask strength, it just sounded like there was no way this couldn't be good. And this bottle has like every kind of information that someone would want. When people talk about transparency, it's definitely on this bottle. So it says origin, Tennessee, non-chill filtered, some cloudiness may occur, aged in new white oak, number 4 char for 14 years, and then finished in ex-Madeira casks for 12 months. Bottled at cask strength. It's from a still, a column still, barrel entry proof at 115, barrel exit proof at 104. Whew. Oh, and it's got the mash bill also. So it's 84% corn, 8% rye, 8% malt. I mean, it's just, it was released April of 2023. I mean, there's so much stuff going on this label. There's so much information. If you're one of those people that really wants that kind of information on a bottle, this is the one I guess you go for. Again, this is High and Wicked, the Jury, cask strength. Really excited to try that one. Obviously, we have a bunch of bottles that we have not even cracked open yet. I don't know why we bought so many bottles if we haven't opened any of them yet, but I guess we just had a lot of excitement on this trip. Couple more bottles left. Let's finish it off. So then we were visiting Seattle. Of course, we have to visit Westland Spirits. So this is an American single malt company. It's from Seattle, Washington. They have the number 3 whiskey of the year, Gariana finish. They were out, of course. I mean, that would be expected. But we did a flight while we were there. We tried all these whiskeys. They were all fantastic. They have some peated stuff. They have, I mean, finished and all kinds of different stuff. Some with different barleys, some with different peat. There's just like such a range of flavors, and they were all fantastic, different ways. But this one, cask number 6333, they label them all with this cask number, I guess, so you'd know exactly what bottle you have at home, and if it's a single barrel, you know which one. If you see a new one, you know if it's one you have before. This is an 8-year-old whiskey finished in Petite Syrah, and it is 122.6 proof. It is very sweet, but it had this amazing mouthfeel. We did our flight, and it was just instant. As soon as we tasted this one, we were like, yeah, that one's coming home with us. Honestly, we just wanted to like go for the experience, check it out, try some new stuff. But that one was so good, we were like, oh, it's got to come home with us. It tastes very different than the other single barrel bottle we have from them. That one is very chocolatey. This one's very fruity. They're different ends of the spectrum, both from the same place, both equally delicious. And then the last bottle on this list, you may have never heard of, which is okay, because I didn't know anything about it until recently either. But Washington has a huge craft whiskey scene. I know people don't think Washington is the place to go for whiskey, but there are so many different distilleries here, and we went to another one in Seattle. This is Copperworks Distilling Company. This is another American single malt. I know I'm probably losing people with all these American single malts, but they're so good. There's such a range of flavor, and this was another one. I don't know if you see at the bottom, it's got filled by Laura Baker. This was another one where we had a fun experience. We did a flight, we tried them all. They were all very good, different types of single malts, but this one had the experience of fill your own. So once we were done with the flight, we went down into where the barrel was, and I got to fish out the whiskey, basically. I mean, there was whiskey everywhere when you're dunking something in and filling it up and scooping it out, then trying to pour it out. So I got to just dunk it in this thing, fish out the whiskey, pour it into the bottle. I made such a mess. I had it all over my hands. I was the DD, so I'm like, I gotta wash up after this. But I got to come home with this great bottle. I obviously did not do a very good job with the sticker. It's a little crooked, but who cares? It was a fun experience. I was like giddy afterwards. I didn't think I would be that excited about doing it, but it was just fun and it was memorable, and I'm very happy I got this bottle. So after that long list going through all these bottles, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you got anything interesting. I love hearing great stories. If you know of fun places to go visit, especially in Washington or Oregon because it's close to us, please let me know. I'd love to visit a new distillery, have some fun experiences like I was just telling you about. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you again soon. Cheers!